Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Apex Racing TV broadcast of round 6 of the iRacing Le Mans series here at the Sebring International Raceway. My name is Joseph Ringrose, and I am joined alongside Marco Barbanera today. Hello, Marco.
Hello everyone, hello Joseph. Yes, we are here at Sebring, one of the, let's say, most history-rich racetracks in the world, especially for this kind of racing, multi-class sports car racing. And today I think we are in for a fantastic round of the iRacing Le Mans series, as we are about to enjoy 1 hour of racing around this very tricky, tough racetrack. Lots of bumps, lots of tough corners, and I think this one will be as per usual on Wednesday evenings. A good one, Joseph.
Yeah, it definitely has everything set up to be a very good race. Obviously, a very strong field coming out for this strength field race. Very big names in the LMP1, GTE, and LMP2 fields. Patrick Wolf, Rico Latalo, Johan Half. All these drivers coming out for round number 6 here from Florida. So currently, as it stands, Patrick Wolf is on pole in your LMP1 field, Rico Latalo is on pole in your LMP2 field, and Florian Denard is on pole in your GT field, Marco.
Exactly, as we are following the drivers in their final attempt at qualifying. As we can see, we have Jesper Dlika trying to improve his time, sitting in 9th in GT. Will he improve on his time? I think he will, but it's not enough. Jackie Lotterman, winner last time around, also coming out to the final corner in 2nd place behind Florian Denard. As we speak, here he comes on the start-finish line. Will he move to 1st place? No, he only improves his time. And also we have Teemu Toika, who is yet to set a quick time, and this will be, I think, his only chance. Of course, the time that we are referencing to in the bottom is, of course, sadly, the LMP1 pole position, iRacing limitations. Sadly, Teemu moves up to P4 in his class, and I think that with him, everyone has more or less set their last lap. Maybe Schulz has one more, no, he's on out lap, so disregard that. And yes, so that will be it for qualifying, and we are in for the long pace lap around this racetrack, which gives us, Joseph, the chance to go very calmly, I might add, through the starting grid for this race. And here we go.
Yep, so as mentioned before, Patrick Wolf keeps his pole position of a 137.154, driving for Pure Racing Team. Linus Tetnow of Impulse Racing is P2, just under a tenth behind Patrick. Johan Half, P3 for Apex Racing Team, with Alexander Weitzel P4 and a 37.4. Dylan Scrivens and Michael Mittner line up on the 3rd row of the grid, with Daniel Boucher and Dylan Ian Mann on the 4th row. Ricardo Chavon, who won out in Suzuka, is starting P9, just over a second off of Patrick Wolf's time. Geodesic driver Fabian Van Doren starts exactly a tenth behind him. Mark Harrison, 4 is P11, with Klaus Dietrich Schulz in the Audi, P12. Robert Edouard is P13. Joe Wells is P14. And Julien Rimelot of Simitok did not complete a time, but he will be starting as your final LMP1 car in P15.
And for the LMP2 grid, here we go. Rico Latalo is in pole position, Tyler Ervias is in 2nd, then Timo Hayden, Teemu Toik and Alex Traynor round up to top 5. Roel Huben is in 6th, then Casper De Cor, Arkadiusz Neumann, Ellie Dove, Marcel Thier, Marcin Gajinski, Eric Teske, and rounding up the grid without setting a qualifying time is Fraser Williamson.
Yep, and Florian Denard takes a very comfortable pole position with just under 4 tenths of a 154.437. Jackie Lotterman, last week's race winner, a 154.818, so a big gap between those two drivers there. Hugo Preto lines up P3 with Blaine Williams Jr. P4. Victor Bellian rounds up top 5 with Tim Koch P6. Gareth Mesham P7. Dennis Garrison of Virtual Motorsport starts P8. Jesper Drillica of Sailors starts at P8. Parakolik, Barry Morrison, Gabriel Ruse, Dennis Neidhart, Alvaro Rabanal, Phil Rose, Ginez Ruiz Nunez, Milan Orundici, I've absolutely butchered that name, James McCritchie and Demetrius Houdlouis are the rest of your GT field, and that is 47 cars for this race, Mark.
Yes, big numbers. Strength of field around 4.5k all around in all three of the classes, as we are seeing. Expect a lot of chopper and blimp shots for tonight, because as you can see, cameras are not very close to the racetrack here. Well, maybe here they are, but in other parts of the racetrack they are very far away, as you can see, and sometimes it's not easy to pick out the action from these cameras, as we are on board with pole sitter Patrick Wolf. This will be Riku Alatalo, pole position for the LMP2s, and Florian Denard, you can see him here in his Porsche in pole position in the GTE class. So it's a sunset race. We are going to enjoy a bit of driving into Sunset Bend for the next hour or so. I think, of course, as per usual, Sebring poses a lot of stress. Joseph onto the drivers. It's very tough to keep the concentration high for 1 hour around here. With the way the track is shaped, the bumps, the tricky layout. And then, of course, as per usual, I think traffic will play a part in how the race will shape up in the next hour.
Yeah, it's not the widest of racetracks through many parts of it, and we're definitely going to see that with 47 cars going around this circuit today. It's definitely going to be a challenge for those LMP1 drivers. And the GT drivers, obviously, they're going to be stuck in battles all race long, and you're going to have LMP way through. But we've seen this many a time. Although this track can be quite hard on the drivers for traffic, it's not the worst of the tracks that we've seen. Obviously, going to Interlagos, Suzuka is a pretty tricky circuit through those S's. So yeah, although it's going to be a challenge for the drivers with the bumps, with just the nature of the track, it's not going to be the hardest challenge they faced. But yeah, they're going to have to keep their heads cool for the whole hour marker.
It's a Porsche Bonanza in LMP1, as per usual, 2 Audis, Klaus-Dietrich Schulze in 12th and Joe Wells in 14th, as we have this very nice shot of the Alman Straight as the cars are all bunched up together in their respective classes, just one corner left for most of the field, Sunset Bend, and then Joseph, we will be ready to go. The pace car is about to take the hard right into pit road, and then we will be racing for the 6th week of the iRacing Le Mans series. Here we go.
Yep, Patrick Wolf is going to have the go, and he's gone. Let's see, looks like Johan Haas got the jump on Linus at least, and looks like he's got ahead of Patrick Wolf as well, cutting in front of him there. Any major incidents since turn 1, looks pretty clean so far.
Oh, someone is very wide there.
The LMP2 field. Watch out for drivers running wide. Looks like Rico Alatalo has held his lead. Tyler Vyas, Timo Hayden, Timo Toyka, your current top 5. Jackie Lotterman looks to have got the jump on Florian Denard. Lane William Jr. also up into P3. Hugo Greater has not had the best starts, losing a few positions. But not for last week's race winner.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
This is Daniel Buescher having some issues. I think for a second he was almost on 2 wheels or something.
Yeah, I think the car on 2 wheels was the PSR car of Ricardo Chievon. Suzuka round race. I believe it was him. Oh, contact into the hairpin. Yeah, a lot of pushing and shoving going on there. Looks like giving him a bit of a bump draft, and yeah, big issues there. Can't see the extent of the damage. Looks like he's got a bit of side pod damage. Chievon.
I think also issues
Yep,
for
Wells running very
Jasper
wide.
Glica, as Patrick Wolf has got the lead back. We will show that overtake very soon. Let's see what happened to Jasper Glica here at the hairpin.
This
Just
is Gabriel
going a bit
Rouge as
wide.
well. Yep, just went wide and got an off track. And here we can see the move for the race lead. You can see Patrick will boost a bit more than Johan Half. Johan probably boosted quite a bit to get the jump on Patrick.
Apologies for the quick jump.
But yeah,
oh, massive trouble in LMP2.
That's Timo Hayden, Impulse Racing driver.
That's Teemu Toika also. As I think his car is pretty badly damaged. Did they had a coming together or something?
Yeah, so they're behind each other. Maybe, yeah. Timo's got a bit. Oh, and he's really clattered the wall. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't really an incident with the two drivers. Timo must have got a bit scared. We'll have a look on board with the Finnish driver, and you can see that both of them are going to get wide. So Timo's going to get loose, and that's obviously messed up the braking point of Timo. And I'm going to see this on board of Timo Hayden this time. So he's just taken way too much speed into the corner, caught the dust, and that dust can just send you around, and he's hit into that barrier. And yeah, heavy damage to that car on that right side where he hit the barrier.
Great job from everyone avoiding the spinning car there, bouncing all over the place after hitting the barrier very, very hard. And as we are into the third lap of the race, remember 1 hour race scheduled for tonight, and this is the very, very tight GTE field with Jackie Lotterman, last week's winner, in the lead, as we have, I think, some more issues in the LMP1 field now, as they are battling really, really hard, and Harrison goes wide, dropping several positions effectively. He's the last of the running cars behind, in front of the three drivers that had major issues in the first lap. Schiavon, Buescher and Edward. Joe Wells is very slow as well. And now Edward and Schiavon are fighting it out. But let's go back to the lead of the GT as they go into out of Sunset Bend. I apologize. As you can see, that is Timo Hayden. With a trip to the pits, I think it will be game over for him.
Yep, so the GTs currently looks to be BMW, Porsche. A very BMW and Porsche dominated field today, Marco.
Yeah, they are. Look at the amount of German cars. The first non-German cars is the Ferrari in 12th. No Fords to speak of in the GT field tonight, sadly. I really like the Ford around here. And I mean, this is usual GT. I mean, look at how close they are. As it's very tough to get away, especially in this first part of the race. Let's go back to this fight here. Dina Scriven has just been passed by Michel Mittner, and let's see if Scrivens is able to respond.
Michael Mittner up 2 positions, and Scrivens stayed where he is, although he did pass Alexander Wheatsall, so essentially counteracted what's happened to him. Just going to get in that slipstream. Slipstream isn't as effective in these LMP1 cars compared to some others, I might say. But obviously that boost, that battery charge, makes a big, big difference in these cars. See the yellow and black versus the red, white and black of Dylan Scrivens.
Getting very close around that particular corner there. Let's go on board with Mittner looking backwards. Now boosting away a bit from Scrivens, as the gap is hovering around 0.5, 0.8 tenths of a second. Back in the lead is Patrick Wolf, who is 0.7 of a second in front of Johan Hart. And Linus Tech now, you can see him in 3rd place.
Yeah, so essentially doesn't seem to be any teammates running with each other in LMP1, so that lots and lots of different teams being represented. Fraser Williamson had a very good start, 5 positions gained, obviously helped with incidents for Timo Toika and Timo Hayden. But he's now on the back of Team Hoisenveld driver Marcel Ty.
Yeah, he had that very bad start because he started basically in last place in his class without setting a valid lap time. We don't know if for going off the track, or because he had issues with his connection or couldn't join the session in time. So of course now he has some work to do, and he's already up to P8 in class and looking like possibly getting up to P7 very quickly, as he seems to have a better run through Sunset Bend, and I think he will now use all the draft he can get, even though it's not that strong, and then move into the first corner on the inside of his opponent. That is exactly what he does, and that's the position gained for Fraser Williamson, so up to P7. Now he has to defend. Also Ellie Dove is pushing very hard to get by Marcel Thier in front of him, but nothing more happening between these 3 guys, and now Williamson can focus on going forward. Let's go this top 5, the GT class. This is Pavel Kovalik, and he's in front of Victor Aveyan, 5th and 6th in class. In front of them is the leading pack. As you can see, Tim Cock here in his Porsche, and in front of the leading trio, Blaine Williams Jr., Florian Denard and Jackie Lotterman, all very close to each other, but seemingly they were able to get some separation between themselves and the rest of the field.
So what, Marco, it looks like Ricardo Chevron's made an early pit stop. He's just come out ahead of these guys, about 5-6 seconds in front of them. So obviously repairing that damage he faced earlier on, where he was up on 2 wheels for this section of the track. It's obviously not ideal for the Suzuka race winner.
No, absolutely not ideal, because almost 100% he will have to do another lap. Sorry, another pit stop. I can get my words straight tonight for whatever reason. But seems like there's been some... oh yeah, of course, that's why they are switching positions over and over again, because the LMP ones have caught the back end of the GT field, and Linus Tech now and Johan Hart have switched position a couple of times, now back into the original places they had. Johan Hart in 2nd and Tech now is in 3rd, even though they were in reverse order on the starting grid. And you can see how important is traffic management, as you can quite easily get stuck behind other cars. And look at Tech now under pressure from Mittner as they go into the final corner, and that is all due to the traffic basically, and how you can manage it. And Mittner gets the position and jumps up to 3rd place.
Yeah, at the start of that lap, Tech now is 4 tenths behind Johan Hart. Good second, 1.2 seconds in front of Mittner, and now he finds himself behind Mittner due to that traffic, and Dylan Scrivens is only a second half behind. So if these guys get stuck in traffic, then they could see Dylan Scrivens sneak up them slowly throughout this race. And Dylan Earman, Witzel and Fabian Van Doren and Klaus Dietrich Schulz are very close, closely packed together. So you could see a very big LMP1 battle if everybody gets lucky in traffic.
Yeah, here we go with Schulz following very closely Fabian Van Doren as they go through some traffic as well. Weitzel is in front of them, and we should see Dylan Earman also in front of them as well, as we are on board with the Audi. You can hear the very unique engine sound of this car, growling. And there's also, of course, the traffic is impacting the battles also in the slower classes, of course, because you have to account for these very quick LMPs going by you. And I think we've had an issue for Gabriel Rose, who is dropping positions left and right in his BMW. Let's see what happened to him.
Looks like the LMP1's got past. Can't see any LMP1s behind. Oh, that's the Demon Tweaks car.
Touch with that Porsche there.
And obviously he's going to be slow out that corner there, so not ideal for him.
Oh, Ribolo! And another car, Van Doren is that. Yes, Van Doren into the tire barrier at Sunset Bend. Game over for him. Let's see what happened there from the chopper. As they were going for a move, I think.
Yeah, Ribolo boosted a lot more. And yeah, Fabian Van Doren just didn't brake as much. Yeah, that was very synchronised when they hit the wall. But not what either driver would have wanted. So look, Ribolo is just so much quicker on the straights. He's obviously boosted a lot, saved that through the phase of traffic, and he's just been absolutely clattered by Fabian Van Doren. And Van Doren may be a bit surprised that he's broken that early, but it's worked out perfectly for Klaus Dietrich Schulz. And it's the battle for P9, Mark Harrison, Daniel Buescher, and Daniel Buescher has found his way ahead.
As you can see, of course, being patient or being impatient can make a big difference in the final outcome of the race. As we have Ribolo in the pits right now, I think Van Doren has towed back, and I think he's also quit the race. So that's it for him. Rico Latalo is still leading your LMP2 field and leading the field by 2.3 seconds. So looking like he's able to pull away from the rest of the pack. Florian Denard is trying to keep it close with Jackie Lotterman, 0.8 of a second as of this moment. Blaine Williams Jr. is still sitting in third, and Patrick Wolf, has pulled away also from Johan Hart. The gap between these two is 3 seconds.
Yeah, these guys are about 15 seconds away from the LMP2 field now, so won't be a lap or two maybe where we start seeing some LMP2 traffic affect these guys. The tail end of that, Ricardo Chavon in that, but Chavon's obviously going to have to pit again after making that very, very early pit stop due to came under from the incident with Daniel Buescher.
Yes, getting of course damage early in the race is both very easy and at the same time very damaging to your chances of winning. Patrick Wolf is driving very, very nicely, scoring the pole position, and now trying to pull away from a very quick driver in Johan Hart. Linus Tech now hasn't been able to get his position back on Mitna. Now Mitna is in third place. We have some battling here. Hugo Preto in this fight with Tim Cock, Victor Aveyan. As we have an Audi going through them.
It's a 22 car of Joe Wells. Hugo Preto hasn't had the best of starts, lost 4 positions from the start. Good qualifying, but down to P7 from P3, so he's going to look to get past Tim Koch and the others in front of him. Let's try and hopefully salvage a result from this race as we see Fraser Williamson continuing his fight up the field on Casper de Court.
Oh, Fraser around the outside. Is it going to work? Maybe not, maybe yes. Great racing there, but I think he will have to give up, Joseph.
Yeah, it's a very, very hard move to complete that. Fraser's going to probably try very, very soon because we know that Fraser's one of the quickest HPD drivers that we see. And he's going to want to try and catch up to that lead pack of Raul Hubin, Alex Trainer, Tyler Havias, and Rico Latalo. As you see the PSR car, Ricardo Chavon go past. Don't know if he's going to have the speed to go into final bend. Maybe look to get that exit on him. Looks like a reasonably good exit. Whether it's going to be enough for turn 1, I don't know. So there's not much of a braking point for turn 1, so it's quite hard to set up a move if you're a couple of attempts back. Stick on board with him for the moment. And Steve Fraser brakes so much later than the court there, Marco.
Yeah.
Takes a tighter line in there, bit of oversteer on exit, bit of correction there from Fraser. That might impact him this time around, and yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be close enough to make a move, Marco.
I don't know if the lights on the track were on to begin with, but they're certainly on now. I certainly didn't notice them being on when at the start of the race. So we are this is officially a night race now, even though sky is reasonably light. Fraser Williamson seems to be very, very strong in the mid to final part of the lap, as Johan Hart has lost just a bit of time there. I think he maybe had a bad line through the hairpin. Let's see, he was lapping a slower class car. Maybe didn't have the best of corners. Yeah, I mean, nothing major happening there. So I think we can go back to Fraser Williamson and his friends. As you can see, oh! And Arkadiusz Neumann is around. And that is also Marcel Thier with some issues. See it again from the chopper.
Yeah, just a bit of a late move there from Marcel. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but Arkadiusz was already flashing his lights while he was spinning.
Saw that. Or is he now going to be about P10? As Fraser looks a bit closer to Casper this time. Oh, he's scared. He's put the court under pressure and he's made a bit of a mistake, and Fraser's got ahead. Very, very smart driving there from Fraser. Scottish driver, now ahead of the Dutch.
Will the core have an answer as they go into the hairpin? I think he will. Also, we had an issue for Alvaro Rabanal. I think he went wide here at the hairpin. Let's see. More than a bit wide, I have to say, and losing one position there to Dennis Neidhart.
Might have got a slowdown there as well. Looked like he just locked up a bit there, Marco, the right front, and obviously just overshot the corner a bit. Want to be braking as late as possible, but want to avoid locking up. And here's Johan Hart trying to find his way through the LMP2 traffic, and what we've seen is Michael Mittner catch up to the back of Johan Hart. He's got past Linus Technow somewhere, so Technow must have had an issue. But essentially, oh, that's Roberto Edouard. It's not ideal for the French blue flag driver. And he looks to have some damage on that rear end of the car.
See what happened there.
It looks like he already has that damage. Yeah, he's just coming way, way too fast. Yeah, just braking too late. And oh, that's Alexander Witzel going over the bumps around the outside of Dylan Ian Mann. Dylan using a bit of boost to stay ahead of him. Dylan obviously not going to want to get past around the outside of Sunset Bend. He's got a bit of a gap now, 7 tenths, a couple of LMP2s ahead, which Dylan should get on the straight. See them DRS boards there, not used in these LMP1, LMP2 or GTE cars, but only used for the Formula 1 cars, but essentially not being used so much anymore. It's a shame. Dylan gets ahead of both, and he's going to get held up is Witzel.
Battle for the lead in GT. Denard has really closed the gap to Lotterman in the last couple of laps, and seems like he will be able to fight for this race win as they go to Sunset Bend once again. This will be the 13th lap of the race for the race leaders.
Very different lines from the two drivers. Denard taking more of a wider line, whereas Lotterman taking a much tighter line. Again, that could be their two different driving styles, or that could be just the cars in general, the way it's better to take the corner for them. But Lotterman goes faster on that lap, setting his personal best of a 155.7. Denard also setting a 155.7. So very tightly matched 12 laps into this race of these guys.
Absolutely evenly matched. We are seeing beautiful battles all around the track with the beautiful Sebring sunset that is very close to what we see every year in the 12-hour race. Not this year because the weather was terrible in the real life event, but this orange sky made possible by the trees that surround the area that are in a blooming period when the 12-hour race takes place, give the sky this particularly nice orange coloring, and it will be our backdrop for the final part of the race. Is Alex Traynor in the pits? No, that was a wrong message from the live timing software. He's still in the battle for the podium there, and having to deal with a lot of LMP1 traffic, so all good for him. And also we are having some close quarter battling here between Schulze, Weitzel, Büscher.
Yeah, very close. Between Büscher and Schultz.
Ooh. That was a very risky move, I have to say. So, I don't know about you, but about that very quick left-hander when I did the 12-hour of Sebring earlier in the season, my teammate and co-driver always told me never stay on the outside of someone in that particular corner, because if they drift just a bit wide, they can clip you, and you are basically, it's game over for you.
Yep, and Büscher and Schultz get very close.
Is that Jackie Lotterman? It is Jackie Lotterman.
Yeah, he's got big issues there. Seems to have a bit of damage to that car. What's happened here? Has he been tapped by the LMP2, or has he just lost it by himself? Is it even the LMP1? Oh, it's the LMP1 of Johan Half. Johan must have got some damage from that. And that's very difficult for Lotterman to come back on. He's got to rejoin the track safely and had to reverse. He's going to go on board with Johan Half. So obviously trying to fit between that gap, and yeah.
And that was that Teemu Toika?
No, that was... No. That was Rico Alatalo, I believe.
Rico Alatalo, sorry, of course. So they were the two leaders and the second place car in the LMP1 that were coming together. Yes, I was confused. But yeah, and I think we have to keep an eye on both Johan and Jackie to see if their cars are in a good state or not, as there's a car parked there. I think an LMP1 machine.
That looks like Schultz. Oh, and he's got big issues as Dietrich Schultz. He seems to have a bit of steering damage. His car was crabbing a bit and then he lost it in the background of my shot. But Lotterman doesn't seem to have many issues, Marco. It must be said, although he's lost a lot of time from that, he doesn't seem to be going ridiculously slow, as Mittner has found his way past Johan Half.
This is already happening here, so
yeah,
it will remain a mystery.
Very big issues.
Let's go back to this great battle for second place. Like you said, Mittner just went past Johan Hart, who has to be sporting. Even though the hit, the hit was a significant one, also his car really got sent in the air, and we saw last week in Watkins Glen, that was an extreme case, of course, with Alex Lange being sent in the air and destroying his engine when he came back, but still, Johan Hart's car got a side impact with Jackie Lotterman's car, and then got sent on two wheels for 10 meters or so, he must have some damage.
Yeah, for sure. It was a relatively high-speed hit to the side, so he's probably got some sort of side pod damage. Doesn't seem to be affecting him massively, but there's definitely a pace impact on that. We'll see more this lap because I haven't had so much traffic, so we'll be able to get more of a representative between Mittner and Half's times and Tekna behind. We'll just wait and see when they cross the line. Or he's hit the bump there, lost a bit of time. So that time around, he's set a 140.1 compared to Mittner's 39.4 and Tekna's 39.8. Scrivens sets his fastest lap of a 39.6. Managing to pull a bit of a gap to Delaney and Mann, who has pulled a big gap to Alexander Wheatsall.
So just a quick rundown as we are approaching the halfway mark of this race. Top 3 in each class. Patrick Wolf is your LMP1 leader and is enjoying 7.1 seconds over Michael Mittner here. And then Johan Hart is in third for the LMP2 class. Rico Latalo, your race leader. Tyler Arvayas is in second. Alex Traynor is in third. And for the GTE, Florian Denar is your race leader. You can see him here. And second place, Blaine William Jr. And in third place is from Poland, Paweł Kowalik. And basically almost everyone in the GT field, has been promoted one place because of what happened to Jackie Lotterman a few laps ago. Jackie Lotterman is now sitting in 7th place in his class, trying to make back some of the time he lost, which is going to be, of course, extremely tough because it's certainly not easy. Even though you have 1 hour, but with half an hour already gone and a bit of damage somewhere, it's never ideal. Even though his car seems to be okay, and I can imagine the frustration, of course. And we know that these LMP1 drivers especially don't like to leave anything, if they can, if they see a gap, they go for it, and they're usually very successful, no? But really, that was a very, very, very tricky move to pull off for Johan there, and sadly it not only impacted his race but also Jackie Lotterman's race as well. And we were lucky because also the LMP2 leader Rico Latalo could have been involved in that and was able to get away without damage. He was lucky to be on the outside there, but in different circumstances we could have had 2 class leaders and a second place car taken out of the race there.
Was 50-0 and Jasper and Dennis in front of him, both set low 57, so he's a second faster on lap 14. Lost a bit of time on that lap with the LMP2 of Eric Tesk going past, but I'm sure he's going to be pushing to try and catch these guys and try and recover of what was a very good drive to start with.
Of course, if you follow him on Twitch, you should know about Jasper's cooking adventures as of late. Always interesting. As we are starting with some pit stops. And we have Dylan Mann in the pits. And I think, yes, he will be the first of the top runners in LMP1 to stop. So we can use his pit stop as a baseline for the times that we can expect. Hopefully he doesn't get any kind of penalty or slowdown, so the baseline we get is a good one.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be, well, there's an early pit stop, it's definitely within the window, so it's not a strange call from Dylan, maybe just trying to pit a bit early and maybe get the jump on Dylan Scrivens. Rico Latalo is still your race leader in LMP2, setting his fastest lap of the race with 4.3. Track temperature is still 26 degrees Celsius, as it was at the start of the race, with the air temperature 25 Celsius, with some clouds in the air and northerly winds of 13 kilometers an hour, Marco.
We always, basically we are all in sim racers a big community, no? But of course, there are some ties that are closer than others. And of course, both Dylan Yamman and Dylan Scrivens are good friends. So, how do you approach racing as Patrick Wolf goes in the pits when you are racing this closely with a good friend?
I think obviously a lot of these drivers, well, not all of them, but they'll have friendships and they'll speak to guys off the track. But other than teammates, I wouldn't say you really race people all that differently. Obviously, you have that level of trust between you. You know, if you test together and whatnot. But I think it's more if you're a teammate, and obviously if you're very close with your teammates, then that's only going to help. Then there's more of a relationship between you on a racing basis, like on the track. It's a bit different off the track with some people, but I know obviously Dylan Mann and Lynn Scrivens close friends, so obviously that's just my point of view, and some of these guys might have different point of views on how they approach it, and that's an incident between Joe Wells and Jesper Drilica, and that looks like it's the end of Jesper's race.
I think he got disqualified because he was very, very suddenly removed from the racetrack, and that's of course very sad. As Linus Tech now is all of a sudden super close to the back of Johan Hart. We will see when these guys will go in for the pits. Of course, just as a reminder, there is an incident limit. It is 17 incident points. When you get to that number, you get disqualified from the race immediately, and you get 1 point for going off the track, 2 points for a spin or a minor contact, and 4 points for hitting another car with a significantly hard hit. See Tech now, and Hart is in. Hart is in. Smart move, I think, because he needs, I think, to repair some of the damage. So for comparison, Dylan Yamman has been in the pits from cone to cone 51 seconds. Patrick Wolf, the race leader, has been in the pits for 44 seconds and a half.
Yep, so Dylan must have taken some repairs in that time as well. So we'll have a look at Johan's and compare the two. Maybe I reckon he'll fit just in the middle. He's still have a look. He crosses the cones. What's the time, Marco?
I think it's 43.3 seconds, yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like he's taken any repairs, unless Patrick had some repairs that we were unaware of, but looks like just fuel. Yeah, only 7-second gap between Johan and Patrick Wolf, so looks to be just a splash and dash, Marco.
Exactly, so I remember earlier in the race we could see Dylan Yamman rubbing fenders with another another LMP1 competitor, Stade Revaisen Extrainer Irene in the LMP2 class. So maybe once again we have to reiterate how sensible to damage are these cars.
Yeah, Marco. Sorry, Johan flashing his lights there, sorry. Might cut out there, sorry for that. Marco?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. But yes, these LMP1 cars are relatively sensitive to damage. Although they're pretty easily repaired, a slight bit of damage can really slow you down. Can even affect sort of battery deployment and battery recharge. You might not be recharging enough, and obviously it's going to affect fuel consumption. And all these impacts are just going to slow you down. Not be able to boost as much because you're not regenerating enough, and all these little things just add up and make yourself slower over that period of time. As Mittner leads this race, yet to pit, top 5. Michael Mittner, Linus Tetnow, Dylan Scrivens, Daniel Boucher and Mark Harrison. None of which have made their pit stop yet. The drivers who made their pit stop are Patrick Wolf, Johan Hart, Alexander Witzel, Robert Edouard, and this is your LMP2 leader, Rico Latalo, making his way down pit road.
Yes, Royal Loben is following him closely. Almost all of the quick guys, the top guys in LMP1 are pitting right now. Fraser Williamson getting in, the leader of the guys that pitted He's Tyler Arvias, and he's here on the Almond Street getting into Sunset Bend. So we are waiting to see where he will come out. Let's put the cameras back on Alatalo as he's coming out of the pits right now. Arvias in the final corner. Alatalo should still be in the race lead with not a big margin, but he is in the lead. You can see here is Alatalo and here is Arvias, one corner behind. Trainor comes out in third. I mean, he was already he already pitted. Kuben, Williamson following close of Williamson now is up to P5 in his quest for getting back to the podium after his very bad qualifying session because of issues, as Johan Hart gets past Mark Harrison there and up to P6. Of course, when the drivers are all in these different strategies, you maybe sometimes have to do overtakes on a car that has yet to stop. Blaine Williams Jr. and Victor Aveyan are in the GT class, but Florian Denard is staying out, as we can see a recap of the pit stop situation on the left side of the screen. And here as well the top 7 have to pit. P8 and P9 are Williams and Aveyan, and they are getting their pit stop done right now. And of course, as we can see, usually the GTEs are the last cars to get into the pits.
Yeah, obviously they can go the longest on. Patrick Wolf got a 2.7 second lead. Sorry, never mind. Correct me again. It is a 7-second lead over Johan Half. My apologies. After the pit stops between the two drivers, Mitnell Tetnow and Scrivens still yet to pit, but they'll have to pit very soon. So Patrick Wolf essentially got the net lead of this race, Marco.
Yes, here comes Tetnow.
Tetnow's in.
Mitner is continuing. Is Scrivens going on? Yes. So one more lap for Mitner and Scrivens. Tetnow is in. Wolf will get the jump on him, as we are already with just a bit more than 20 minutes left in this race here from Sebring. Here comes Patrick Wolf, and he will get P3 back, and aiming of course to get that all-important first place when Scrivens and Mitner get in for their pit stop.
Yeah, we expect them in the next couple of laps, as Lotterman is on the back of Dennis Garrison of Virtual Motorsport. So we've seen Dennis in the LMP1 car, in the Endurance. Who's that off? That's Paweł Kowalik from P2, Marco.
I
Off
think you
at
are
turn
right.
1.
There he is, out in the first corner. Get a replay of that.
Looks to be on his own. Johan Half's already passed, unless someone will come out of the pits. No, there's not. Yeah, it must have just had a bit of a moment and tried to correct it, and he just avoided that wall. Stamping on the brakes.
In the bad luck, a bit of good luck. So Jackie Lotterman now is up to third. He has to pit, of course, and remember, he was leading the race, I would say quite comfortably, before having to relinquish the lead after contact with Johan Hart, as Michael Mitner is in, as you can see on the bottom side of your screen. You follow the pit stop, and Scrivens followed him as well. So Patrick Wolf should get back to the lead of his class, and tell you what, let's see the gaps here. It's of course you can see the GTE leader has got 15 seconds over Garrison and Lotterman. All of these top guys have yet to stop. Leader with a pit stop is Williams Jr. Leader with a pit stop, I apologize, Blaine Williams Jr. So we are expecting these guys to come in a few laps. They still have some time, the GT guys, as Scrivens come out in 5th and Mitner comes out in 2nd. Just you can see very
the Audi.
Apologies for the temporary
now.
technical issues that we had. Hart, I think, has had a little bit of a moment there. Yes, OBS just crashed, and we are back. And you can also hear us once again. So let's get a replay of what happened to Johan Hart. I think he just went a little bit too wide.
Yeah, he's just gone a bit deep into here. Yeah, he just went deep into the corner before.
Yeah, and here we go.
Oh yeah, he's run a bit wide there, yeah.
Bouncing on the curves, you can see the sparks flying around.
Yeah, that's not going to help him at all.
No, absolutely, especially since we are quite sure that he has already a bit of damage.
He doesn't want to get floor damage on that car. Just can't repair
by,
that.
by the way, Joseph, the chat is blaming you for the OBS issues we just had.
Ah, okay. No surprises there.
Of course, we say hello to everyone watching, especially the guys
Yeah,
that are blaming you. Guys that are blaming you. Which
I think he might have floor damage, Marco. He's really struggling now. He's 4 seconds behind Dylan Scriven. Well, obviously, he's not going to be able to repair that. But yeah, he's just going to have to live it out, I guess.
See, the lap times, of course, so we have to consider his mistake in this lap time for Hart, 44.7.
4.2 slower than Scriven's last lap.
Let's see the Iranian man, 40.0. Let's watch him closely and have an eye on his on the clock for Johan Hart there. So we have Fraser Williamson, but he's in 5th place in his class. So let's keep an eye on this battle here. Hart is goes straight on, and that's it for him, I think. Yes.
Yeah, he looks like he's called it a day. Maybe he did have a bit of floor damage, and he's just. Did he get hit from behind? That's very odd.
Okay.
Yeah, he just kind of stopped. It doesn't seem like he got hit from that GT. I can't see that he got hit.
Okay. Look at that. Michele Costantini is saying that Johan had a cone stuck under his car.
Ah, that would have.
Wow.
That would have explained why he was so slow. I was thought it was floor damage, but nope, a cone. That is not ideal for the French driver.
And those are very, very pesky, those cones, especially once again if they are stuck under your car in the wrong position, as we have a very, very aggressive pack of cars here. They basically keep rubbing on the tarmac, and they can really cause some big friction and slowing you down significantly.
You're obviously going to be losing a lot of time on the straights if that happens. And here we can see is the battle between Victor Avalon and Dennis Garrison. Jackie Lossman not too far behind. I think Dennis Neidhart's had a bit of an issue somewhere. He's already pitted, but he doesn't seem to be anywhere on the relative. Yeah. No, he's down.
Oh, wow, what a jinx. Congratulations. And he's sitting in a very, very bad position. He moves out of the way.
Oh, he's going to have to reverse. This is not... Did he get tapped by Scrivens or was it Prater?
Let's see, this is also...
believe it.
Okay, well, let's see what happened here. Oh, that's
so
accordion
Prato,
effect.
Yeah, so Prato hit Technal, and Technal went into the back of Neidhart. So that might have given Technal a bit of damage, which is going to allow Scrivens to catch up even further. And Hugo Prato is not going to be... Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much damage on that car of the number 16 driver, minus Technal. Dylan Scrivens is just caught in an absolute bottleneck with these different cars, different classes, GTEs, LMP2s. He's going to want to let this LMP2 get past. He's going to want to squeeze through. He's already lost 1.2 seconds on Linus Tech now so far this lap.
Let's get the track map on so we can at least have a good idea of where each driver is. As Hugo Preto is struggling a bit. And also his connection is struggling. Everyone is passing him at the hairpin. He needs to be careful when he rejoins. Yeah, nice camera shot, iRacing. Thank you very much. Did he get tagged there? Because, of course, this connection being... yeah, look at that. Lagging like crazy.
Oh yeah, Preto's just lost the back end and he's been hit by the LMP2. Dylan Mann doing well to avoid that, and that's another LMP2. That's Ellie Dove having issues, losing the rear end of that HPD. Yeah, no rear wing on that.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, big issues. That looks like he's disqualified. That
disqualified, yeah. So, back to this fight here for the podium in LMP1. We have Linus Tech now and Dylan Scrivens in a fight. Of course, Tech now has got a bit of damage for that contact we saw earlier. And seems like Scrivens is much quicker to this section of the track.
Yeah, and the Scrivens takes P3 off of Linus Tech now. Tech now's going to try and hold it round the outside, but nope. Scrivens gets in front, but Tech now doesn't look like he's going to give up.
Porsche versus Porsche as they get, as you can see there, into the Le Mans section and then back to the Allman Straight, where maybe Tech now can use a bit of boost if he has it. Of course, we know how good both of these drivers are. Back on the straight, seems like Scrivens will be okay.
Yep, we'll keep an eye on this battle. Scrivens now 2 positions up on his starting position. Mittner up 4. So Minna's had a very good race to get up into P2 and stick within 5 seconds of Patrick Wolff. Obviously Patrick Wolff we know is one of the best LMP1 drivers. Racing Pure Racing team. And Mittner also very, very good. Got P2 at Le Mans in the Endurance Series with his team SynRC.de. So showing that he's a good driver. No slouch, and in 4 seconds of Patrick Wolff. I'm sure he'd be very happy with that after starting in 6th, marker.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and I have to say that you know, Patrick has been absolutely flawless today. By the way, Jackie Lotterman is up to P5 now, and Gerson. No, that is not Gerson. I apologize, or maybe yes. I mean,
yeah, Garrison's in front of the Porsche.
There's a... yeah, and then that is Avian. Okay, so we can have another battle here. The field is a bit messed up, as you can see on the track map on the right, with cars all over the place. So it's a bit tricky to keep track of where everyone is. But of course, this is our job, so we have to do our best. We are ready to jump back on that battle between Scrivens and Tech now, if needed. But let's stay on board with Jackie Lotterman, trying to get at least back on the podium. Now for the overall race win is going to be almost impossible. As you can now, clearly see how the lights are on, and of course also the headlights of the cars are really needed to get around the racetrack in this final 10 minutes or so of the race.
And Jack Lotterman flashing his lights at Dennis Garrison. but they seem to be getting held up by Abalon. Both of the drivers seem to be faster. So 2 Porsches and a BMW, and it's going to be a 4-lap fight, I believe, for P3. Brian Williams Jr. a good 10.5 seconds in front of these guys, so I don't think he's going to be much of an issue. And oh, that's Abalon getting very wide onto the grass out of the final corner. Dennis Garrison going to be going side by side.
3 wide. And
Wide through
Lotterman.
turn 1.
What a fantastic pass from Lotterman.
What a move up into P3 through turn 1. Double overtake.
Oh, and Avellan is off.
Oh!
Oh dear. What a mess. 3 wide once again.
That's just allowed Lotterman to get a bit of a gap, so yeah, really impressive move by Lotterman to get that, and it's just a bottleneck with all these cars. The LMP2s, the GTs, the LMP1s getting involved as well. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, Marco.
Very, very big mess, as we can get this opportunity to watch it once again from the chopper, because this is by far the move of the race from Jackie Lotterman.
That is one of the best moves I've seen this season. Gone down the inside of both cars. And yeah, he's managed to keep the position. So fantastic driving from the geodesic driver in that BMW.
And then some lag contact there you see between the 2 Porsches that sends Aveyan out on the grass. Okay. Big breath, and let's go back to the racing. And that chaos there allowed Fraser Williamson to get caught up by Casper De Cor, and that is in a battle that has gone on for the entirety of the race basically. And so now De Cor is in 5th place, and Williamson is down to 6th. As we are in the final couple of laps, more or less, of this race.
Indeed we are. Fraser Williamson is coming under threat. He's going to want to try and get up to Casper De Cor. He's a bit of a moment on traction. But this is a four-way fight. Casper De Cor, Fraser Williamson, Arkansas Newman, and Marcel Ty. Marcel Ty having issues earlier on in the race with Newman. They've managed to catch up to these pair once again. And Newman's going to go down the inside. Try and make that stick. They're still side by side. And it looks like Newman got better exit off the corner. Bit of braking there from Fraser.
Maybe with some issues for Williamson, because he had a great pace in the first part of the race, and now in these closing stages it seems like he's dropping quite significantly. So in all the chaos that we had tonight, he might have had some damage somewhere, or maybe he's saving a bit of fuel, but because he is not as good, his pace is not as good as it was in the beginning of the race, when he was trying to make up those places to get back, you know, in the top positions after his qualifying disaster.
As Garrison's going to look to get past Avalon. Now Lotterman's got a bit of a gap. Can he do it? Last time we saw Lotterman make a move, Avalon ran wide onto the garage. Not going to do it this time around. Timo Hayden had an instant earlier on in the race catching these guys up in his LMP2. Nick Childman seems to be struggling through that corner, and that's going to allow Dennis Garrison to get a bit of a run, but not going to be able to pull out because of Timo Hayden being there, and that's just one of the things of multi-class racing.
if my calculations are right, we should have 1 or 2 laps at the most. Maybe this is the final lap. We will keep an eye on that. It's going to be, with my terrible calculations, very, very close, but I might be completely wrong. Who knows? Back live. Apologies for that. We are back once again. Patrick Wolf.
Leading the race from essentially start to finish, Marco. Here and I've got past at the start of the race, but he's had issues and obviously retired due to that cone, and Patrick Wolf has just pulled away and I think has been fully deserved from my point of view. I think he's done a very solid job to keep hold of that throughout the race. Still a few corners to go, but good start.
Yes, apologies once again. I think the iRacing servers are having some issues. But seems like Patrick Wolf is about to win this race. As we are getting, I think I apologize for the seizure that we are all having in this moment by watching the stream. And yes, Patrick Wolf, I promise you, Patrick Wolf has won this race in the LMP1 class, with Michel Mittner in second and Dylan Scrivens in third. Let's follow the battle yeah, Denard has won the GT class in front of Blaine Williams and Jackie Lotterman.
Fireworks going off, Marco. Can you hear them in the background?
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Rico Alatalo, as long as nothing goes wrong in these final few corners, will take your LMP2 win. Still got a couple of corners to go. Anything can still happen. But Alatalo, Havias and Trainer have definitely been the best of the LMP2 drivers today. Not put a foot wrong that we've seen. And other drivers getting into incidents. Alex Trainer making up 2 positions after starting P5 in class.
Yes, here we go. Final corner for Alatalo. Gets a very, very well-deserved win. Second place will be Tyler Hervayas, as in third place we should have Alex Trainor. Final corner for Alex. And he gets a nice podium. So all the other drivers are slowly coming through, as we have this nice aerial shot from Sebring. And of course, everyone that wants to come and jump in for an interview, we will be very, very happy to welcome you in the booth, should you want to come. And that was a very, very nice race, a bit messy at times, Joseph. But before that, before we get our post-race considerations, we can go through the final official race results of the day.
Did we can, and starting off with LMP1, it pole position for Patrick Wolf and race win for Patrick Wolf. Very, very good job by the Pure Racing Team driver, with Michael Mittner of Simar CP2 making up 4 positions from his grid start, and Dylan Scrivens of Muster Racing finishing on the podium as well. Linus Technow finishes P4. Dylan and Mann gains 3 positions to finish P5. Alexander Whitesall, not having the best of races, finishing P6 after starting 4th. Daniel Boucher maintains his P7 after having early issues in the race. Berto Eduard finishes P8, a good race for him. Ricardo Chiavon recovers to P9 after those early issues, and Julian Joe Wells, Mark Harrison, all coming into issues 2 laps down. Your DNFs in LMP1, obviously, Johan Half having that moment with the cone and getting into various moments of GTs and LMP2s throughout the race. Klaus Dietrich Schulz, obviously, we saw his incident earlier on where he was crabbing down the back straight, and Fabian Van Doren, we saw his incident in the final corner. Marco, take it away, the LMP2s.
Enrico Latalo is your race winner. Tadej Revajas in second, completing the podium is Alex Trainer, then Roy Luben, Casper de Kort, Arkadiusz Neumann, Marcel T, Fraser Williamson finishing down to 8th place. Something must have gone wrong for him after his pit stop. Once again, maybe some damage. Temu Toika, then and Eric Teske, Marcin Gazinski, Elidov, and rounding up the LMP2 field after a big crash was Timo Hayden.
Yeah, Florian Denard takes your win in GTE with Blaine Williams Jr. P2, Jackie Lotterman recovering for P3, Victor Advan manages to finish P4, Garrison P5, Kolik P6, Morrison P7, Phil Rose P8, Gareth Mesham P9, Neidhart P10, Guinness Ruiz Nunez P11, Alvaro Rabanal P12, Milan Aronofsky P13, James McQuitchie P14, Hugo Preto P15, and Gabriel Ruse, Jesper Drulica, Demetrius Hudluis didn't even make the start, and Tim Koch are all your DNFs for today, Marco, in GTE.
Thank you very much. And let's see if we have some drivers.
So we have Jackie Lotterman.
It's going to be a very nice interview. And yes, Joseph, take it away.
Hello, Jackie. Oh, we'll move him up. My bad. Hello, Jackie.
Hey guys.
So a win for you last week and another podium finish for today, even after having those issues. Talk us through your race from your point of view.
Yeah, I started really good and got the lead. Then led the way for I don't know until the spin. The LMP1 just went through the middle and caught my left front, and then it just spun. Couldn't hold it, unfortunately. But I think it was a good recovery after that.
Yeah, obviously that incident put you in a very difficult position to rejoin the circuit. How did you go about that?
Yeah, I was waiting until there was traffic going by, but then I realized I need to go backwards and then go forward again, and then try to rejoin the track. And luckily, I got.
Yep. So most sport next week, obviously a first on the iRacing Le Mans Series calendar. Very different circuit to Sebring. Is it something that you'll be racing at?
Yeah, it's a very interesting track, I think. So for sure be there. I'll for sure be there.
That's good to hear. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out before you go?
Obviously, everybody at Geodesic Racing, to all our sponsors. It's a great journey, and I hope to do a lot more.
Yeah. So congratulations on P3 to you, Jack, and we'll see you next week at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Thanks, see you guys.
Marco, that seems to be the only interview that we're going to have for today, and let's reflect on the race. It was a pretty hectic race early on and some good battles throughout the field.
Absolutely, it was very enjoyable, even if at in certain points of the race it was a bit messy, but that's the byproduct of having such close quarter racing. Also in a multi-class environment. I apologize to everyone for the issues with the stream today. Must have been one of those nights, apparently. And hopefully it will be all good for the next time around. By the way, tomorrow we have BSRTC here on Apex Racing TV starting at 19:15 GMT, and then on Saturday we will be back at 12 GMT with Sim Racers Asia, live from Sebring, by the way. And then later in the day we will have, of course, the usual Saturday night with the Euro V8s at 18 GMT. So thank you very much for following us. It has been a pleasure, and Joseph, as per usual, it has been a pleasure to have you here with me tonight.
Yeah, massive thank you, Marco, for allowing me to commentate, and once again a massive thank you to everyone obviously who raced and watched the broadcast. Yeah, well, a massive thank you from everyone here at Apex Racing TV. That's it for round 6, and we'll see you next week for Motorsport round 7 for the iRacing Le Mans series. Good night.